Tim Mackintosh-Smith, Arabs, A 3,000-Year History of Peoples, Tribes, and Empires. Embark on a fascinating journey through 3,000 years of Arab history with Tim Mackintosh-Smith as Arabs, A 3,000-Year History of Peoples, Tribes, and Empires. From the early nomadic tribes and the founding of Islam to the influence of Arab culture and language across territories, this book summary will provide you with a comprehensive understanding of the Arab people's rich, complex past. Gain insight into the cultural, linguistic, and political evolution of this vast region that shaped the course of history.
Arabian roots, land, culture, and conflict. The diverse landscapes of the Arabian Peninsula have shaped its inhabitants' destinies for centuries. The region's signature challenge, scarce water, led to the emergence of two distinct lifestyles: settled agriculturalists in the fertile south and nomadic tribes roaming the arid lands. These early Arabs developed sophisticated methods for water management and trade, giving rise to cultural exchanges, including the oral tradition of poetry. Conflicts with neighboring empires such as the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persians gradually fostered a shared Arabian identity. The introduction of horses combined with new innovations in their arsenal spearheaded the transformation of Arabs into a formidable fighting force against both internal and external adversaries. These seemingly disparate tribes ultimately united under a common identity as they came into contact with powerful empires, the Romans and Persians, who perceived and treated them as a collective entity. Unifying power of ancient Arabia. Southern Arabia witnessed upheaval in the 1st century CE, with tribes migrating north due to mismanagement and invasion threats. The Ghassanids and Lakhmids allied with the Byzantines and Persians, and their courts became hubs of cultural and artistic development. This period saw the zenith of Arabic poetry, with the refinement of the language forging a sense of national unity. This newfound unity brought forth a belligerence among tribes, who adopted an ethical code that focused on generosity and loyalty. The Ghassanids and Lakhmids soon shifted from allies to adversaries of the Byzantines and Persians. The pivotal Battle of Dhu Khar shaped the unified dreams of the Arab tribes. As Muhammad, a member of the Quraysh clan, experienced revelations in Mecca, the resulting Quran blended the region's sophisticated, poetic language with a powerful message. This new religion, Islam, worshipped Allah as the only God, drawing many passionate believers, but also critics in Mecca. Consequently, the foundations of Arab unity fostered the development of Islam and the inception of Arabs as a powerful, unified force. Uniting Arabia and beyond. As Muhammad established himself as a spiritual leader in Mecca, he encountered resistance from the city's ruling clans who saw him as a threat to their traditions and lucrative commerce. Muhammad's solution was to migrate to Medina in 622 with his followers, where he was immediately put in charge of the city. By prioritizing written laws and utilizing strategic raids, he expanded Medina's influence rapidly. The ruling clans of Mecca ultimately surrendered to Medina, joining forces with Muhammad and ushering in Islam as the dominant socio-political force in Arabia. As news of Muhammad's leadership spread, clan chiefs across the region aligned themselves with Medina, leading to the first-ever unification of Arabia. Following Muhammad's death in 632, his companion Abu Bakr assumed leadership of Islam. To solidify the unity among Arabs, Abu Bakr saw the weakening Byzantine and Persian empires as opportune common enemies. Using the vital need for expansion to maintain unity among the Arabs, he and his successor Umar led miraculous conquests against these powerful empires, owed in part to outstanding archery skills. These victories not only expanded the realm of Islam, but they also cemented its permanence as a dominant force in Arabia and the world beyond. Arab conquests and culture. The Arab conquests rapidly expanded following the defeat of Byzantines and Persians, with territories spanning from Portugal to Tajikistan. As the tribes and cultures mixed and amalgamated, the concept of Arab evolved into a pluralistic identity based on shared language and culture. Discontent in the Arab metropole of Medina led to a leadership crisis and the eventual schism between the Sunnah and Shirat Ali. The Umayyads, a powerful yet controversial clan, founded the first Islamic dynasty in Damascus, facilitating the development of an Arab national identity marked by contributions to architecture, calligraphy, and bureaucracy. Remarkably swift, the Arab conquests emerged after the fated dominance of the Byzantine and Persian empires. Generations witnessed the expansion of the Arab Empire into extensive territories, painting a multicultural canvas with languages and cultures from Portugal to Tajikistan. Through time, being Arab transformed into an identity marked by cultural experiences rather than strict ethnicity. However, repercussive turmoil gripped the Arab heartland of Medina, stemming from Caliph Umar's death in 644 and the leadership of Uthman's Umayyad tribe. The spread of corruption and discontent due to Uthman's favoritism fanned the flames of rebellion, culminating in the violent Battle of Siffin in 657. Consequently, a schism between Sunnah and Shirat Ali factionalized Islam, with Ali's followers holding onto the martyred image of their fallen leader. The division paved the way for the Uthman-affiliated Umayyads to assert control, establishing the first Islamic dynasty with a new seat of power in Damascus. Yet, the Umayyads garnered criticism for indulging in an un-Islamic lifestyle, overshadowing their otherwise impressive architectural achievements and their cultural contributions to calligraphy. Despite the element of vice, the Umayyad mosque in Damascus remains a resounding testament to their lasting impact. Under the Umayyads, an Arab national identity emerged, characterized by the shared Arabic bureaucratic system, standardized coinage, and the flourishing cursive Arabic script. Nevertheless, turmoil persisted with periodic rebellions, including a brutal suppression of an Iraqi revolt in which 120,000 people were killed. Ultimately, the Umayyad reign would culminate in a successful rebellion, leaving a complex legacy in the expanses of the Arab world. The influential Abbasid dynasty. The Abbasids, descended from Prophet Muhammad's uncle, Abbas, overthrew the Umayyad dynasty by uniting various factions dissatisfied with their rule. Shifting the caliphate's power from Damascus to Baghdad, they adapted a more flexible approach to leadership and managed to retain the symbolic caliphate for an impressive 800 years. The Abbasids made Baghdad a cultural capital, leading to innovations and advancements in science and religion, with intellectual and aesthetic trends making an impact in neighboring regions. However, over time, the Arab influence diminished, and political power shifted to the Turkish troops they relied on for protection. The Abbasid era faced numerous rebellions, similar to the Umayyads, which eventually weakened their rule. The Abbasids were able to unite various groups in opposition against the Umayyads, swiftly defeating their dissatisfied armies and shifting the caliphate's power from Damascus to Baghdad. Rather than adopting the Umayyads' rigid rule, the Abbasids implemented a more adaptable and flexible approach to leadership, helping them retain their symbolic power for almost 8 centuries. Under the Abbasids' rule, Baghdad transformed into a thriving, cosmopolitan cultural capital where architectural marvels, such as pavilions and palaces, took shape with the help of 50,000 workers. Rapid communication and economic advancements made travel over vast distances, such as from Central Asia to Baghdad, possible in a fraction of the time it took previously. The Abbasid era brought an intellectual revolution, particularly during the 9th century reign of Caliph Ma'mun. He established the first Islamic orthodoxy and held a strong fascination for geography, mathematics, and astronomy. These pursuits left a lasting impact, with words like algebra and algorithm remaining in the English language as a testament to the era's influence. The Arab culture and intellectual developments soon spread to cities like Constantinople and Guangzhou, inspiring new architectural and fashion trends. Despite these achievements, the Arab influence gradually dwindled. Arab leaders became increasingly dependent on their Turkish military and courtiers, ultimately relinquishing power to these foreign forces. As with the Umayyads, the Abbasids faced numerous rebellions, ultimately draining their resources and marking an inevitable decline. The rise and fall of Abbasids. The Abbasid Empire met its end in 1055, with the Turkic Seljuk tribe capturing Baghdad and rival factions seizing power in neighboring regions. Although this decline marked the end of unified Arab territorial power, Arab culture continued to thrive worldwide, influencing Spain and expanding Islam from West Africa to Indonesia. During this period, the Crusades targeted the Arab world, driven by the desire for treasure and power disguised as religious motives. The Crusaders left a lasting impact on Europe, evident in its healthcare, crops, and trade. The Arab world faced its most significant catastrophe when the Mongols invaded, annihilating Baghdad and marauding the empire. In the centuries that followed, besieged by the Mamluks, Franks, Mongols, and other threats, the Arab world lost its tenuous grip on power, and the last remnants of Arab rule crumbled away. Thus, to maintain their cultural influence, Arabs turned to the Indian Ocean as a gateway of opportunity. Seafaring Arabs and global influence. The Mongol invasions of the 13th century led Arabs to embark on sea voyages, exploring remote regions across the Indian and Atlantic Oceans. Their maritime adventures introduced them to an abundance of resources, including gold, gems, and spices, which they traded between ports. As the Arabs spread their influence, they simultaneously expanded their language, leading many cultures to adopt Arabic script. However, the Arab seafaring prowess faced challenges from new empires like the Portuguese, British, and Dutch, who sought dominance across waters through their advanced naval technologies and control over international trade. The delay in adopting the printing press put Arabs at a disadvantage in technology and scientific development and impeded their progress in a rapidly changing world. As the Mongols instigated fear and destruction across the lands, Arabs took to the sea in the 13th century, charting unexplored waters from Tanzania to the farthest reaches of Java. Their maritime excursions can be deemed as vital as their earlier military expansion, laying the foundation of today's Islamic world. Sailing the seas alongside the reliable monsoon winds, Arabs amassed immense wealth from the rich coastal lands and the treasures of the oceans. Trading on an international scale, coveted goods such as gold, gems, pearls, ivory, ebony, sandalwood, nutmeg, and cloves were exchanged at bustling ports. Arabs soon became a familiar sight across Asia and Africa, bringing not only trade but their language and culture with them. Many languages adopted the Arabic script, from China's Uyghur to the Balkans' Croat. Arabic influenced numerous languages like Indonesian, with 3,000 loan words, and East Africa's Swahili, which owes 50% of its vocabulary to Arabic origins. However, Arabs found their maritime dominance challenged by emerging European powers like Portugal, Britain, and the Netherlands. Eager to claim their stake on the ocean's riches, these empires threatened the Arabs with their advanced naval technologies and occupied strategic coastal regions. The invasive European presence redefined Arab sea migration patterns, forcing them to navigate in the shadow of these powerful newcomers. Another factor hindering the Arabs' progress was their struggle with the printing press, essential for knowledge dissemination and technological advancement. Due to Arabic's complex and cursive script, printing posed a significant challenge until the first Arabic press emerged in 19th-century Cairo. Trailing approximately 400 years behind Latin, the delayed adoption of the printing press and their inability to produce large-scale publications hindered the progress of science and technology in the Arab world. In conclusion, the Arab world's seafaring ventures revolutionized global trade and cultural exchange, though competition from European empires and the challenge of adopting the printing press posed substantial obstacles in maintaining their influence and technological growth. Uniting through change. Egyptians embraced their evolving identity with the help of Arabic as the official language and adaptation of European innovations like the steam engine, opera houses, and the Suez Canal. Concurrently, in the Arabian Peninsula, the Wahhabi tribe's conservative movement targeted anything deemed polytheistic. Meanwhile, Arabs in Lebanon and Syria experienced massive outward migration, creating considerable Arab communities in Europe, West Africa, and the Americas. The Great War had significant consequences on the region. The Balfour Declaration set the stage for Israel's establishment, and the Sykes-Picot Agreement ended the Ottoman Empire. This ultimately fueled the fire for Arab nationalism movements, leading to Saudi Arabia's creation and strengthening resistance against colonialism. The introduction of Arabic as the official language helped Egyptians maintain a strong sense of identity while embracing European technology and progress. The steam engine, opera house, and Suez Canal, a transformative project connecting the Mediterranean and Indian Oceans via the Red Sea, demonstrated the Egyptians' ability to preserve their cultural identity and blend it with modern advancements. On the other side of the Red Sea, an awakening was underway, and the Wahhabi tribesmen sought to purify Islamic faith by eradicating anything seen as polytheistic, such as opera houses. Leaving a trail of destruction and violence across the Arabian Peninsula, their actions symbolized the opposing forces at work within the broader Arab world. In the Levant, the 1800s marked a turning point, as Arabs from Lebanon and Syria migrated to Europe, West Africa, and the Americas in vast numbers. Over time, this large-scale movement resulted in 12 million Arabs residing in Brazil, a figure surpassing Lebanon's population. Several events during and after the Great War redefined the region. The controversial Balfour Declaration in 1917 laid the groundwork for modern-day Israel, albeit with little consideration for the existing inhabitants. Meanwhile, the Sykes-Picot Agreement ended the Ottoman Empire, granting provisional independence to Arab lands subject to permanent French and British influence. The drawing of official borders could not halt the surge of Arab nationalism, as resistance was seen in Morocco, Syria, and Iraq. These struggles culminated in the formation of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 1932, backed by the Wahhabis and supported by the United States. With the discovery of oil in 1933, the region's political landscape transformed once again. Change would continue to shape Arab societies, with figures like a charismatic pan-Arab Egyptian stepping onto the stage to challenge colonialism directly. Reshaping Egypt's identity. Gamal Abdul Nasser's takeover in 1952 introduced a new era of boldness in Egypt. However, the nation was unable to maintain its course due to external challenges and internal strife. Today's Arab world continues to struggle, but understanding the past can pave the way for a brighter future. Egypt's path to independence was marked by a mesmerizing display of defiance against colonial rule. In 1952, a group of ambitious army officers, led by the charismatic Gamal Abdul Nasser, overthrew the monarchy and established Nasser as the first homegrown ruler since the ancient pharaohs. The nation was ready to chart its own course for the first time in centuries. Nasser's voice and actions captured the imagination of the Arab world. Through radio broadcasts, he inspired millions with his assertiveness in dealing with Western powers. He nationalized the Suez Canal, leaving the British red-faced, and backhanded the US by striking an arms deal with the Soviet Union. The invigorated leader appeared unstoppable. Nonetheless, Egypt's rise stumbled upon a significant obstacle in the northeast where Zionism triumphed over a divided Arab coalition, birthing the State of Israel in 1948. This new reality triggered massive migrations of Jewish Arabs to Israel and Palestinian refugees to neighboring countries. Matters worsened for Egypt when, in 1967, Israeli forces decimated the Egyptian Air Force, seized the Sinai Peninsula, and conquered remaining Arab territories. The bitter loss shattered Nasser's legacy, and he passed away a few years later. With the hope of the 20th century ebbing, a resurgence of political Islam emerged, offering simplicity in contrast to the chaotic modern world. Still, autocracy, religious governance, and violence persisted as the norm. History took another turn when, in 2011, Mohammed Bouaziz's self-immolation in Tunisia ignited the Arab Spring. Passionate youth across Egypt, Syria, Bahrain, and Yemen hit the streets to protest corruption, arbitrary rule, and opportunity scarcity. However, Egypt's revolution was usurped by the military, while Syria, Bahrain, and Yemen witnessed escalating conflicts and failed dreams. The Arab world's inclination towards autocratic leaders might arise from a desire to justify their existence rather than acknowledge the people's loss of control. Consequently, disappointment often morphs into despair. As the contemporary Arab world grapples with its struggles, revisiting history could be a catalyst for forging a brighter future.
In Arabs, a 3,000-year history of peoples, tribes, and empires, Tim Mackintosh-Smith paints a vivid portrait of the Arab people through millennia, culminating with the contemporary challenges facing their societies. From the origins of the Arab identity, to the birth of Islam, and the later rise and decline of their empires, this book spans eras and territories to paint a comprehensive, instructive, and engaging picture. The historical knowledge gained through this book enables the reader to grasp the complexity of Arab cultures and their relevance in shaping today's world, showcasing the resilience and adaptability of the Arab people. It also offers a powerful message of hope for young Arabs today to draw inspiration from their history and continue to build a brighter future.